This is going to be the last day. I just want to go home.
Everyone else go.
Completely shot. Oh, I did take a shower right now, so. All I can say right now is Pimo.
Significantly less people.
Yeah, so this is now day 4. Oh, I just realized it's a heavy. That's a pretty legit heavy if I've seen one. And an NG. But it's nearly 9, and as you can see, since it's a Monday, there's hardly anyone here. So hopefully it'll fill up a little bit more, but I actually like it this way. Oh, there's schoolgirl Koishi. That hasn't changed. Why have I noticed that thing first of all, out of all things? See up on the escalators. You know that schoolgirl guy in the black and yellow hat. You're staring right at him.
I am?
He's going... No, he's not going down the escalator.
Oh, he's on the top over there.
Yes, he's on the top of the escalator.
Oh, I see him. Alright.
Yes, extra stage brought us subterranean animism. You don't see a real-life cosplaying Koishi wearing a schoolgirl uniform every day, do you? Or is that a Sarafuku one? Wait, Sarafuku means a school uniform. What the fuck am I saying?
Actually, if you think about it, there are quite a lot of people cross-dressing, you know.
Yeah, there always is.
So what do you mean that's kind of a rare sight?
No. The rare sight isn't the fact that there's a cross-dresser for Touhou. The rare fact is that, the rare fact is that you're seeing someone cosplaying as Koishi in a sailor uniform or a school uniform, whatever it is. That's what I was talking about. You don't see that every day. Alright. Anyways, he's still there. Anyways, I find it hilarious that that's the first thing I see. What? Not even a minute into the video. Yay! Go Touhou! I'm so fucking obsessed. Indeed. So yeah, it's pretty empty. Right now, Carlos and Protagonist are standing there to figure out the pre-registration for next year, 2013. They're trying to figure out information for the premiere badge, so they're gonna try to see if like this year they say that the prices for premiere tags are going to be 120, whereas this year, or like the con for this con for this con I only paid 80 with a promo code that Protagonist gave me that got me 20% off. I'm banking on the fact that they're going to do that again. However, if they don't, I'm kind of fucked because I only have literally $99 on me. Maybe a little bit more or less because, yeah, I have 96 right now because I spent $3 on snacks the other day. So, yeah, they better do something quick. Holy... Okay. Yeah. Holy fuck.
Damn it.
Koishiception! We finally meet Komachi. Does this qualify for the strangest couples pool? I hope not. This is now the start of the Touhou panel, day 4. It's like we have a whole host of people, half of whom don't know that it's actually Touhou instead of Vocaloid.
Alright, we good? Alright, yeah, welcome to the What the Heck Is Touhou Panel. Yeah, apologies to those of you that found it as the local channel and program guide, but this is a crash course on Touhou, so it's okay if you stay and watch. Yeah, before I begin. This is my first one of the entire con. I don't know how I did it. Like 2 hours of sleep a night. I don't know how I did it, but anyway. All right, so yeah, just a quick heads up. This is a crash course on Touhou, and but we do cover a lot of ground. So even if you're a Touhou veteran, you might discover something new. So before we get to Touhou itself, we want to cover a few kind of background items for it. So the two major things related to Touhou are the terms Dojin and Comiket. So Dojin, how many of you are familiar with the term Dojin out here? All right, most of you. So we can go through this pretty quick. So Dojin, literal translation, is self-made work. So pretty much anything self-made, print, music, even animation, posters, and up to cosplay as well. And then they can be original or parodies of other works, or even parodies of other fan works. So if a particular meme that gets popular from a dojin, then other groups will actually start making parodies of that. And then how many of you are familiar with what Comiket is out there? Alright, so Comiket is an event in Japan held twice a year for 3 days, and is dedicated towards focus on doujinshi, the self-made works. They have over 35,000 circles. As comparison, AX last year had approximately 700. So take Artist Alley, multiply it by about 50, and that should give you a rough idea. 500,000 attendees over the whole weekend. That's I think about 3-4 times the size of San Diego Comic-Con even. Circles are allowed to sell anything. There's a designated cosplay area due to the crowds, and there's a dedicated commercial room. Because a lot of major companies actually like to exhibit there because so many fans show up. And an interesting fact that 70% of circles and 60% of attendees are female. And then put that all together, and you have the growth of Touhou at Comiket. And this is a chart that spans the range from 2003 to 2008 in terms of the number of circles labeled Touhou. And from 2003, from almost no presence, 5 years later, it almost broke 1,400 circles, categorized as Touhou. So, and it's still growing past that. This is a copy of the floor map from Comiket 78, which was the summer 2010 event. The area in the red box is all labeled Touhou project. And you gotta remember that each of those rows, sections are made up of tiny squares, and each of those squares is a 6x6 booth. So each of those long rectangles, I think, let's see, it's 2x8 booths. So each of those is a block of 16, so that's all total right there. And to give you a sense of what that looks like in people terms, you take that red line that I drew on the picture there, and you work towards the camera. And that's the entire Touhou area in this picture. Alright, so more specifically, what is Touhou? Touhou is a top-down scrolling shooter. In Japan, it's labeled STG, short for shooting game, or a lot of Europeans and Americans call it shmups, shoot 'em ups. And Touhou is a specific subcategory called Danmaku, which literally translated means bullet curtain, because as you can see in the example screenshots on the right, there are often more bullets than safe areas on the screen. And each game consists of six stages with an extra stage, and each stage has a new boss as well. Actually, and there, actually, we have a demo video to go with that. Brief gameplay video of the first stage of Touhou 13. Alright, so you to get that many points when you collect a blue item, and then grace happens when a bullet crosses your character's head, but not your hitbox. There's a visible line on the playing field called point of collection that if you go above it, you'll automatically collect all the blue and red items on the screen at any time. And so this is the mid-boss of this stage. At the bottom is boss location indicator, and we have a boss called bar. And so like I said, grace happens when you have the bullet across the character stripe, but not the hitbox. So this is another important mechanic that shows up in the total game, which is called focus, which is being highlighted with the red circle. And that accomplishes a few things. The first thing that happens is that it changes your shot type, in this case from a wider shot to a narrow shot. And then it also slows your character down to make it easier to dodge. And the last thing is, it also reveals the hitbox, which is a white dot at the center of the sprite. And then here we have the lead into the first stage boss, which is the usual. And they're often have a lead in and lead out with dialogue that advances the story. And here you can see a good example of grace as the bullets cross the character's right, but not the hitbox. You can see the grace counter on the bottom right there increasing rapidly. And so each boss goes through several phases called spell cards, and each spell card is a different bullet attack pattern, which can be defeated by either reducing the boss's health to 0 or allowing the time rounding operation to run out. You see that they got the spell card bonus here, which you get when you defeat the particular spell card without using the bomb or using it. So we don't have
Right, she's playing normal difficulty.
The first stage boss is defeated, and again, there's dialogue that advances the story. It's unique to each playable character that you run through each stage. Alright, so who created Touhou? So Touhou is created by Team Shanghai Alice, which consists of exactly one member, and that is Zun. He's known for his love of beer. He often posts pictures of beer and writes tweets about drinking beer. He actually got married a little bit earlier this year, and for their honeymoon, they went to Germany, as you'd expect. So his real name is Junior Ota. He's 35 years old this year, and he learned how to compose music. He's been composing music since junior high on the leptone and the trumpet. And earlier in his life, he worked at Taito, which made Darius Gaiden, another shoot 'em up, and that actually was one of the major inspirations for Zun to create the Touhou series. And his mentality going into it is that he wanted to create a game that he enjoyed playing. And you know, if other people enjoy playing them, then that'd be great. So we have the main characters and the setting for pretty much almost all the Touhou games. So we have our two main characters. First up is Hakuri Reimu, which I'm cosplaying. She is a Miko or Shrine Maiden. And on the right, you have the character sprites from, let's see, that was Ten Desires and Hiso Tensoku. And then under that is Marisa Kirisamen, who is a Western style magician or witch. And the place that Reimu lives at is the Hakurei Shrine located in Gensokyo, which literally translates to Land of Illusions, which is inhabited by yokai, or demons. And usually, most of the stories happen because the Hakurei Shrine is bothered by yokai in some way, so Reimu takes it upon herself to go out and set it straight. Alright, and we have, so starting in 1996 is when the first Touhou game came out, and it was actually released on a system called PC-98, which I believe never sold in the US. Yeah, was never sold in the US. So the first 5 Touhou games came out on the PC-98 system, and actually a lot of the major characters that are still popular today, or still seen today, came from there. So you can see at the bottom there, Reimu, Marisa, Yuka, Alice, Mima, and several others. And then after that, he moved to the Windows platform, starting from Touhou number 6, which is embodiment of Scarlet Devil, and through to this day. And the embodiment of Scarlet Devil is by far the most popular and probably well-known Touhou game. And definitely the PC, the Windows games have been a lot more well-known than the PC-98 versions. And of course, they even have Versus Danmaku. If you've ever played an arcade game called Twinkle Star Sprites, where you actually send attacks to each other by defeating patterns of enemies, there was actually a Touhou game made that takes a similar mechanic. So it's not just single player. We have other Danmaku games created by Zune. We have Aya as the main character in Shoot the Bullet and Double Spoiler, which has an interesting mechanic that you don't actually shoot back at the enemies, but you have to take photographs of them. And that actually clears out bullets, and that's how you clear a path through the field. And of course, Chiro as the main character in the Great Fairy Wars. And then in collaboration with Twilight Frontier, they made a series of fighting games, starting with Immaterial Missing Power, and then the current version is Touhou Hiso Tensoku. And then Zune also, besides just the fan works for Touhou, Zune actually does work on essentially official works, manga, art books, and pretty much what he does is he writes the backstory for the manga, and then in the books, there's a lot of information about the characters, and he provides that information, and the art is provided by other artists. I don't know, those of you familiar with his art style, he has a very unique art style. And I don't know how many people would actually tolerate reading an entire manga made up, drawn entirely that way. So he usually collaborates with other artists to get these made. The last release that came out was, let's see, 2012, earlier this year in April, Symposium of Post-Mysticism, which goes over a lot of detail on the 10 Desires characters and others. And of course, finally, what makes Touhou so popular? For those of you that may not be able to read it in the back, the bottom there, it reads armpits. True Touhou fans know no other form of arousal. So, all my armpit maidens out there, hands in the air. Yeah. Alright, so one of the major reasons is the hard gameplay. Touhou is a very difficult game, as you've seen in the earlier screenshots and a little bit in the demo video. You expect to die a lot, and so it's kind of the challenge of it that gives you the real strong sense of accomplishment once you actually clear it. Next up is the music. Many people find the background music catchy, and as a result, a lot of dojo groups release fan works actually that are musical remixes or rearrangements of the original tracks that Zune created. And yeah, Toho music is a huge scene. I think, oh, that was right. It was released yesterday. It was version like 13 or 14 of the lossless Toho torrent, I think. Yeah. So it broke a terabyte on the last version. Yeah, it broke a terabyte on it's like 1.05 terabytes on the last version, which came out a couple months ago. And there are actually a number of torrent clients that can't download it because it's so large. And then of course there are the Flash videos. Overdrive is probably one of the more famous ones. It's known for the meme, Easy Mono, and also and a number of other things. And then of course Marissa Stole the Precious Thing, which is known for its English chorus. And then finally, well, actually I don't know if my slide counts. We have characters. This is this is not even all the characters in Toho. This, if I remember correctly, the count was 104 characters plus one bonus character. Toho Wiki lists 144, and the Japanese fan character like popularity contest has 140. So there are tons of characters, each with their own backstory and archetypes, personalities, etc. So there's usually someone to like, no matter what your interests. Kind of like a something for everyone proposition. And then also the culture of fans, the user-created universe. There's actually a fan-made SDK where you can create your own danmaku or bullet patterns called danmaku-fu. There's also difficulty mods where they take in the game code. There's a number that's attached to each difficulty level, and that number kind of dictates how fast the bullets travel, how quick the patterns are, etc. And lunatic mode, which is like past hard mode, in the game code is like number like something like 18 or something, and then they take these difficulty mods and they change that number from 18 to like 75. So, so you saw how like I don't know if you noticed in the demo video demo level, that person got about 150 bullet grazes by the end of the level. The demo videos of the they call it ultra mode, or they have a lot of different names for it. Something in the neighborhood of like 10 to 15,000 grays by the end of the first stage. So that's how many more bullets, like literally like 100 times more bullets. Zune also promotes derivative works, and also if he actually catches on to memes that he finds interesting, he will even include them in his own games and future works. Some examples of fan products are, these are all fan products in this picture. None of these are actually official. Wall scrolls, posters, tapestries. This is a shop in Akihabara. There's a shop in Akihabara that actually has a floor, I think it's in the basement floor, where it's just all Toho. In this picture, there's keychains, cell phone straps, bookmarks, pins, figures, etc. Of course, the Toho remixes, again, I said the music scene is very huge there. And then finally, we have Nico Nico Doga, which is known, kind of known as I call it the YouTube of Japan. And this is where you can upload videos that you make yourself, much like YouTube. And so the top bar there are the primary categories that the videos are sorted under. And then one of them is, that's highlighted, is anime, game, and drawing. And under that, the subcategory, you have everything, anime, game, Toho, Idolmaster, radio, and Let's Draw. So Toho has so many videos in its tagged under it that it actually has its own subcategory on this video site. And then, of course, there are music videos. the most popular Toho music video being Bad Apple. Under that was McDonald was dancing in a dream to you and Owen. If you've seen it reposted on, you might have seen it reposted on YouTube as McRolled. And then of course there's others like Cherno's Perfect Math Class and Sudo Petan. And I actually have a Bad Apple video for you. And this is not just any Bad Apple video, but what I did is I actually took, to show you how hugely popular Bad Apple got, I actually compiled some of the more popular remakes of Bad Apple into this. And so there are 19 clips in this video and about 40 Toho characters. So see how many of these you can recognize along the way.